Welcome back to the Brother Sports Podcast. This is episode 18 here, always with Rylan.
What's up, everyone? My microphone sounds a little different. I'm just using my Mac, so it's a bit different than my other mic.
Yeah.
Still good, though.
He's a different place right now, so he's not at his normal setup.
My normal setup's going to be where I'm at eventually.
Yeah, he's moving eventually. So,
Be nice.
So you guys probably already know this if you've been paying attention for the past, week. You would know that AD he got traded for Luka, Mavs.
Yeah, so AD's big lip self finally not on the Lakers anymore. So I'm kind of glad, but at the same time, it's weird. It's
I
gonna
mean,
be
I liked
weird.
AD. It's just he got hurt all the time. So, I
He
mean,
got
our
hurt.
last episode, we literally the first title was AD gets hurt
AD.
again, and then
Yeah,
in that episode, I said trade is glass high in, and then they did.
they listen. Yeah, I guess they listened to our episode and like Rob Pelinka finally realized he's like, okay, AD's washed. he keeps getting hurt, so I'm just gonna finally trade him. And now we do have a good center though. For I don't know how he's actually gonna play on the Lakers. Probably gonna be trash, but
I mean, on the
you know,
Hornets is good, but it seems like everybody goes to Lakers wash. So
yeah. So we'll see. Because he averaged like almost 2 blocks a game. 12 rebounds, like 20 points or something like that. Like a good starter.
Yeah.
So we'll see, but in a blockbuster trade that figures to impact the Western Conference balance of power for years to come, the Lakers, Mavericks, and Jazz. I'm going to be talking about the Jazz too because it was like a three-way deal when
Yeah.
it came to them.
Even though they didn't get
Uh,
much.
yeah, the Jazz didn't get crap, but they completed a three-team trade that sent Luka Doncic to the Los Angeles Lakers and Anthony Davis to the Dallas Mavericks, which is going to be weird to see. I'm already used to seeing Luka in a Lakers uniform, so
It still looks weird though. Like you look at it, I mean, he's actually wearing it, but it still just looks photoshopped because it's hard to believe.
Yeah, because like you think of Luka, you think of a blue, jersey.
Yeah.
Like, you don't. What it will look like in the black, purple, and gold.
Ooh.
Those are my favorite jerseys.
Yeah.
Right there.
Those were nice.
They're nice. But the Lakers received Luka, Maxi Kelber, and Markieff Morris from the Mavericks, who announced the trade on Sunday morning. So what day is it? Friday. So not even a week, but it's been 5 days since the trade happened. Daggone, time's flying by already.
Yeah.
But Dallas acquired Davis, Max Christine, and a 2029 first round pick. Which that first round pick is probably going to be washed too. But
Hello. Maybe.
Maybe, I don't know. But Max Christine, he was starting to get pretty decent with the
Max
Lakers.
Christie, yeah, he was starting to do good once he started. Once he got into the starting lineup, he was starting to show off a little bit.
Yeah.
And then, like, you know what? Luka's better.
Rob Pelinka's like, so you're starting to do good. You're trading.
Yeah. Like they should have traded Jared Vanderbilt or Gabe Vincent.
I mean, that would have trading Vanderbilt would have worsened our defense more, but at the same time, we would still have more offense.
Yeah. So we got Maxi Kleber, which is a center, and then Markieff Morris, which is washed. He was part of the 2020 championship, which he didn't do much because he's washed. So we got him back for no reason. He's probably not even going to play.
Ron and whoever you just said
Yeah.
are the only people from that 2020 roster that's left.
Yeah,
First, it was LeBron and AD, but AD got traded. Yeah, he's just washed now. Yeah. Even though when he's healthy, he's an MVP candidate.
Yeah.
I mean, at the beginning of the year, he was top 3 in MVP votes. Like, was. Then I don't know what happened. He got injured.
Yeah. And then the Jazz out of the trade, they got Jalen Hood, Scafino, and I don't know who the crap that is. And then they got a 2025 second rounder from the Clippers, and then a
So they
2025
did.
second rounder from the Mavs.
Yeah, so they didn't really get much at all.
No.
But it says here, I believe that, defense wins championships. Mavericks general manager Nico Harrison told ESPN's, "Hey, that guy's receiving death threats right now."
He
Ashton
is.
told me earlier. He's getting threats from trading Luka. It's rough, man.
Oh, their first home game, they're gonna get booed,
Oh yeah, they are.
which is tomorrow.
They are. Yeah, they haven't a home game in a while.
Mm-hmm.
They've been
Tomorrow
on the road
against the
for.
Rockets.
Well, the Rockets are going to win because the Rockets are one of the best teams in the league
I
for
don't even
no
get that.
reason. What does Dylan Brooks do? Like,
Nothing. Dude averages like
I
single
don't get
points a
it.
game. All he does is trash talk.
He gets trashed on.
Mm-hmm.
Very trash talks.
Yeah,
But
he does.
Tim McMethan explained his motivation to deal, Doncic for Davis. He said, "I believe that getting an all defensive center and an all NBA player with, defensive mindset gives us a better chance. We're built to win now and in the future." You're not built to win now. Luke is the only reason he even made it to the finals.
Him and Kyrie.
Luke, I know, and Kyrie choked in the finals. I hated that. I hated seeing him like that.
It's just
That
Boston though.
really
But
sucked.
the
I know.
Mavericks did win in Boston last night.
Yeah.
Kyrie done decent.
Yeah. Yeah, that was without Luka and
Clay had a Clay moment from his past.
well,
He had like
I'm
23 in the
not.
first half,
He said I'm not fully washed,
just
just
most of the
slightly.
time.
It just depends. See, he'll own the Celtics once in a while.
Yeah.
But it says here, the trade talks were initiated by Dallas. League sources told ESPN and began a few days ago. Harrison and Rob Pelinka, the Lakers' vice president of basketball operations and general manager, have a long-standing relationship dating to when Harris was Kobe Bryant's marketing manager at Nike and Pelinka was Bryant's agent. The Lakers front office ownership group and coaching staff were in alignment on the deal, excited to acquire a young superstar in Luka, while recognizing it takes a lot to get a lot in the NBA. I don't, but the Lakers wouldn't have traded anything on that roster if it wasn't for the Mavericks reaching out to them.
Right. That's what I was going to say because people's like, oh man,
Rob
Rob
Pelinka,
Pelinka got the steal of the generation or whatever. No, Rob Pelinka had zero to do with this. Nico reached out to Rob Pelinka.
Yeah.
Rob Pelinka is not to thank for this.
No, Rob Pelinka, the only good thing he ever did was that 2020 roster, and
then
after
they
that,
blew it up. Since then, he
I don't
hasn't done
understand.
crap.
For Westbrook,
He held on to stupid D'Lo for too long. Still holding on to Jared Vanderbilt and Gabe Vincent for I don't even know why. But he traded Connect, which
I
mean, we needed a center, yes, but Connect is
we've needed a center
good.
for so long, but I don't know why it took so long to get a center. Because we kept getting guard after guard, Westbrook, then Gabe Vincent and crap like that. They were trash.
Yeah.
All Gabe Vincent does is run. He might as well, be an Olympic track runner.
Might as well. He's garbage. Trade
Averages like 2
Bronny's
points.
high in if you have to.
Like, daggone. I know LeBron be mad, but
Daggone.
LeBron probably would quit playing if Bronny got traded.
Maybe, I don't know. But so kind of lots happened this week with trades at the deadline, which was yesterday, February 6th. But so Anthony Davis to the Mavs, Luka to the Lakers, and then Dalton Connect to the Hornets for Mark.
This is the most shocking trade deadline I'm pretty sure in NBA history, especially with just that Luka trade.
Yeah.
That Luka trade shocked the entire NBA because people thought he was untouchable
Oh yeah.
because he was
Dude's
he
face of
was
the
the face of the
franchise.
franchise.
He carried them to the finals. He's the only reason they made it to the finals. Besides, Kyrie, him and Kyrie, but mainly Luka.
Yeah, I mean Derek. Yeah, just mainly Luka, and then it just I don't get. I still never
they said that
understand why they
he's out of
traded him.
shape and crap, dude. He has a
He
calf
looks
strain for one,
fine.
but he
He
looks
looks
fine. They
perfectly
just didn't
fine
want to give him that supermax extension, like
because he
300
was injured.
some mil. Yeah, that's fine.
Just
Lakers win a
bullcrap.
championship though.
But I have a little thing here about LeBron crap like that. He was talking about he was shocked that AD got traded
He
because
was at dinner.
yeah, I know he's eating chilling LeBron. He's like nom nom. But Luca is obviously a one of a kind young global superstar who will lead this franchise for years to come. Pelinka said in a statement released by the team Sunday. His killer instincts and commitment to winning championships will be a driving force for the team. We will be relentless in building a roster around the core vision of JJ Redick and has for this basketball team. And there is an unwavering commitment to the work of our loyal and dedicated fans. We are grateful for today and look forward to what's next. But I do have a question.
All right.
So, the Lakers, once Luka retires, they're going to have to, obviously build around LeBron.
Mm-hmm.
So, how do you think they're going to do that? Because, LeBron's never going to retire. He just put up a 42-point double-double, almost triple-double last
Last
night.
night at
So,
age 40.
they're going to build around LeBron once Luka retires?
So once Luka retires, they got to build around LeBron again. So what they'll need to do is get some 3 shooters around LeBron.
Yeah.
Because that's when LeBron is at his best, whenever he has shooters around him. So when he drives in, he can kick it out to one of those 3. And then you got to have a good center down low to get those rebounds.
And then that's all he needs. And
All you need.
bam, that's a championship team. All LeBron needs is a good, decent center that'll be able to stop, say, Jokic or whatever, right? Just stop them a little bit more than, we need. And then, we just need some decent shooters.
Yeah.
But I think LeBron's not going to retire until I'm, dead, to be honest. I'll be 80 years old and he'll be 100 and something.
I'm still going. Still in his prime.
Average 60.
That'd be ridiculous. No, but seriously though, I'm happy we got Luka. I think him and LeBron. He was like, "Oh, it won't work. It won't work, but it will."
They said that about Kyrie and Luka too.
It'll work.
But LeBron and Luka's play styles, they combined because both of them can play off the ball, and both of them, are just
their play is similar.
Main ball people. They play similar because obviously they're the top of their team and stuff. They always take the ball down or whatnot.
LeBron's, obviously more athletic, but
yeah, but they have a similar play style. They're pass first. Sometimes Luka is pass first. Other times he's I'm a ball hog. But,
yeah.
On the finals, he wouldn't pass.
I mean, he's still averaging 30 though. It'd be different if he wasn't making them though.
Yeah. But it says here, after the Lakers and Mavericks agreed to the deal late Saturday night, sources told ESPN that Pelinka made 3 calls in the quick succession a joint call with Davis and Lakers coach JJ Redick, a call to Davis's agent, uh, Rich Paul of Clutch Sports,
He
and
has
a
the
call
same
to
agent as
LeBron
LeBron.
James. Wait, doesn't he?
Mm-hmm.
And they got a call from LeBron James as well. Harris told the Dallas Morning News that he texted Luka and left him a voicemail. Imagine waking up in the morning. You check your phone in the morning. You see you got a voicemail, right, from your agent or whatever. You click it. Oh yeah, by the way, you're traded. You're the face of the franchise, but you're traded. How do you think he felt?
Like,
you know how betrayed he probably felt.
oh yeah, for sure. I bet it hurt. I mean, you
Like
could tell like he was in pain, like just thinking about it. But I think seeing LeBron go off like that is helping him
the past
recover
the past
from.
2 games, yeah.
Mhm.
LeBron's showing off.
Yeah, he's like, "Hey, Luke, this is what you got. Can Kyrie do this?"
And Kyrie poster.
Like Kyrie's
But
good. I played with him. I helped him, develop his game. But can he do this
I'm
at
underrepresented
40?
me as a ring.
Yeah.
But it says here, my guess is he probably doesn't want to talk to me, Harrison told the newspaper. I mean, I wouldn't want to talk to you either after I just got traded. That would suck, man.
Well, LeBron, he said he was at dinner with his family eating and stuff, and then he was seeing
Yeah.
this crap online. He's like, "Nah, it's fake." And then he said he
Because
got a call.
everyone thought Shams got hacked.
Mm-hmm.
Like, everyone in the league thought Shams got hacked because they're like, there's no way Luka got traded.
Yeah. But
And
then
AD got traded. They're
LeBron
like,
said that AD called him. He's like, "Crap, this is real."
I wonder how AD felt.
Um, well, I know that he was in the locker room and they
Yeah.
were talking to him about it, but like, "Oh, what would you have done better, in your time here at the Lakers?" And then AD's like, "You're saying that like I'm getting traded or something." And then he didn't know. And then the guy's like, "Check your phone."
That sucks. Imagine like you just got to win with the Lakers, and obviously you just got injured, but
Mm-hmm.
you're sitting there in the locker room waiting for the game, waiting for your teammates to come back, everything, celebrate, and just getting interviewed, like I know you're washed, getting injured and stuff, but yeah, and then imagine the shock
Mm-hmm.
AD had. I feel like if he wouldn't have got injured, I feel like they would have kept the same roster, maybe.
I don't know.
I don't know,
Maybe.
though.
But I mean, if somebody is calling you, like, "Hey, I'll trade you Luka." I'm taking
I'm
that.
taking Luka.
Unless you're asking for LeBron, I'm taking that. I don't care who else is on that team. Unless you're asking for
Yeah.
LeBron, I'm taking that deal.
Yeah,
Nobody
we're
else is
not talking about
untouchable
LeBron
except for
James
LeBron.
Jr. Talking about
Yeah.
We're not talking about LeBron James Jr., by the way.
Yeah.
We're talking
I'll
about
trade
C.
his on it.
LeBron will go to whatever team Bronny's on.
LeBron's got a no trade clause, so in order for him to get traded, he has to waive that.
Yeah.
I think only
But
him
it
and
says
Bradley
here,
Beal have a no trade clause in the entire league.
wow. But yeah, Davis and Anthony Davis and Luka they just didn't know anything about the trades at all. But it says here, the deal pairs, Luka with LeBron as the new 1 and 2 punch in Los Angeles, while Davis will be forming a new star duo with Kyrie in Dallas. They'll play good, but not as
They'll
good as
play
like
good.
LeBron. Not as good as LeBron and AD or
Oh,
say Luka and Kyrie. They won't play as
or
good as
as good
that.
as LeBron and Luka.
Yeah, LeBron and Luka are about to dominate the league. LeBron's going to get his 5th ring this year. Then that's going to solidify him as the GOAT. If you guys don't believe he's the GOAT, this 5th ring will solidify him as the GOAT.
No, they'll be like, "Oh,
I don't.
Michael Jordan sucks, but Michael
Even
Jordan get crap
even if he
at
doesn't,
40.
even if he doesn't get Finals MVP because of Luka, he's gotten Finals MVP 4 times out of his 5 rings.
Yeah.
So, and Kobe, some people call him the GOAT. He didn't get Finals MVP once when Shaq was there, didn't he? Or he might have got it once out of 3 times.
Maybe. I'm actually not sure.
I'm not sure. I sure know. He didn't get it a single time when they won the finals and Shaq. I'm pretty sure. Because I'm pretty sure he only has 2 from the 09 and 010 seasons.
Kobe won twice, 2009, 2010, so not when Shaq was there. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. But some people still call Kobe the GOAT. So if LeBron wins his 5th ring and say he doesn't get finals MVP, people are gonna hate on him for it.
LeBron needs to win the next 3 seasons, so he'll have 7 rings. And then the MJ fans will have zero crap to talk.
He can, if he gets a 2-peat, he can even his finals record. So then, what will MJ's fans say then? Oh, he's like, 6-6 in the finals.
Michael done it in less seasons.
But LeBron made it the 12 finals.
Yeah.
Daggone. Pulled a Bill Russell.
Yeah.
But it says here, James intends to stay with the Lakers. We all obviously figured that and stuff, because LeBron said it even before the AD trade. He's going to stay with the Lakers. He wants to finish his career as a Laker.
I mean,
stuff like
you're
that.
getting Luka. Why in the world would you want to leave? Who would ask him that?
I don't know. Reporters, they ask retarded questions.
Yeah, yeah.
But this trade also reunites, Luka with JJ Redick, his former Mavericks teammate.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure they only played like 18 games together or something like that. But still, imagine playing with your teammate.
He's your coach.
And then, yeah. I mean, LeBron's done that before.
Yeah.
But how young Luka is, it's just weird,
Mm-hmm.
But that's really all in that. Just, Luka is now, a Laker.
I won't talk about
pretty cool.
The next trade we're going to talk about, but I'll talk about a couple other trades that's been shocking,
Yeah.
Since like yesterday.
Just this whole week has been crazy for NBA trades. Because I know De'Aaron Fox got traded to the Spurs.
To the Spurs. Yeah. Brandon Ingram got traded to the Raptors. Chris Middleton got traded to the Wizards.
I know. It's crazy. Like, star players from the team, like starters, have been getting traded. Like De'Aaron Fox, he's face of that franchise. He's face of the Kings franchise besides Sabonis.
Zach LaVine and he got traded to the Kings.
Yeah. And then Andrew Wiggins got traded to... Who you get traded to?
The Heat.
Like the Heat. Yeah.
Yeah, it's part of the next we're going to talk about.
Yeah. It's just crazy.
A lot of trades for star players, man.
It's ridiculous.
All within the deadline. Like, it was all within one day because they all waited till like the 6th. To,
why'd they wait till last second to trade? I guess to like shock the league and the league be terrified or something.
I don't know. And Dennis Schroeder, dude, he got traded like 3 times in 24 hours. And he's only been on the Warriors for like a month. So in the past month, the dude's been traded like 5 times.
I know, it's ridiculous. He now joined Shaq, the only other player to have rainbow jerseys now. Like,
play with so many different teams.
Yeah. Shaq's the only other player I'm pretty sure to do that. So Dennis Schroeder made NBA history.
Yeah, being such trash. The difference with Shaq was good.
Yeah, until we had on like after the Heat, then he just slowed.
Yeah. But so when this trade happened, the Luka and Anthony Davis one, like I was laying in bed getting ready to go sleep, I was getting ready to turn off my phone,
I didn't
and
believe it.
I
I didn't
just
believe
seen
it
the
because I seen it
banner
on
pop off the
Instagram.
top of my phone. I was like, "What?" I was like, "No way!" And Summer's like, "What are you talking about?" I was like, "Don't talk to me. I'm reading this." And so I clicked on it and read. I was like, "No way, man! There's no way." And I knew it was real because the score it's never fake news.
Yeah,
So I was like,
yeah.
"There's
But
no
your mind
way."
couldn't comprehend it, you
Yeah,
know.
there's no
But
way.
I first seen it on Instagram. There's this Hoops Alert guy. Follow him on there, and he doesn't fake NBA news either. But I didn't believe it at the time. I
Mhm.
was like, "There's no way." I kept scrolling. I kept seeing things about. I was like, "What the crap?" Then I see the score thing pop up. I'm like, "Holy crap!"
For real.
I was just. It's crazy to
I
me.
was happy when I seen him. I was like, "Man, if we could have got Luka and kept AD, like that'd have been good too." But
Oh my, holy, yeah. They should have traded crap. If they would have kept 80, I would have been fine with the Connect trade, honestly.
oh
Even
yeah,
though
yeah.
as much as I love, like, really do like Connect, but having Luca, LeBron, and AD, that's the best
And even
team,
if they would have
offensive
traded
team in
Austin
the
Reeves,
league.
like I love Austin Reeves, but if you could have kept AD and get LeBron and Luka, sorry, AR, you gotta
Crap.
go.
I mean, what they could have done, they could have
Imagine
traded
AR and Kyrie
Vanderbilt.
too.
That would be ridiculous. But what they could have done was they could have, obviously, they could have traded Connect, Jerry Vanderbilt, Christian Wood, Jackson Hayes, and a whole bunch of different bench players, maybe including Bronny, even though LeBron wouldn't like that, to keep AD
Mm-hmm.
and get Luca over here.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just imagine that. That would be the best offensive team in the league, like, easily.
Yeah,
Even though the Cavs are stacked like that in the
Cavs are
Celtics.
nice.
But
But
I
overall, like I'm
think
happy with the Lakers right now. Their bench still needs work, but their starting lineup looks pretty strong since we got a good center. Mark, what the crap's his last name?
uh William? I don't
Williams,
know.
maybe
I think
off
I
the
think it's
Hornets.
Williams.
He'll do all right.
I know he's injured right now because
Washed,
he tore his ACL or whatever. So he's in recovery for that. But
washed.
that's the only thing about him that we're gonna have to worry about is his health. But other than that, he's a really solid center.
Yeah. All right, we can move
But
on.
yeah, there's nothing else on that besides,
We went half an
oh, it
hour
says
just on
here.
that topic.
But Davis, I remember, LeBron and AD, they were talking about, like, the Lakers needing changes, another
Mm-hmm.
big, etc. No, we were just getting traded AD. That's
Like AD, what we meant was we need to move
what we meant.
you.
He's like, yeah, we need a big, we need a few other, key players. Oh yeah, check your phone, AD.
Check your phone, your watch. You're gone.
It's
But
rough.
so you guys, we gave you updates in like 2 or 3 different episodes about the Jimmy Butler crap going on in Miami. He's unhappy. He wants a
It's just
trade.
like week after week after week. We've
Yeah,
obviously talked about this as one of our topics.
yeah. But now Jimmy Butler was finally traded to the Warriors after he said he wouldn't sign an extension with them, but he changed his
I,
mind.
he's like, Stephen Curry.
So Steph Curry does have help now. If they can
Yeah.
keep him and
Well,
Draymond
we'll
from fighting.
see. We'll see. Yeah, him and Draymond are going to brawl while Curry's being triple teamed half court. Like, they're going to be at the other, team's goal, just fist fighting it out, boxing, and Curry's going to be just getting triple teamed. So we're going to see how that works. But the Warriors closed the deal for Butler after negotiations to acquire Kevin Durant ended when, the Phoenix Suns star informed the team that he did not want to return to Golden State.
He already got what he wanted
That's
out of him, rings, That's
yeah,
why he's a
yeah.
cupcake. That's why he's a snake.
That's why he never going to be respected as a true winner
No.
because he can't win without Curry.
All he
As much
wanted
as I like,
was rings out of
as
there.
much as I do like KD as a player, I don't like how he did it. He's a
Nah,
good player. He's an amazing
he don't
player.
deserve those
But
rings.
no, if it wasn't for KD joining that Warriors team,
0 rings.
LeBron would have 6.
Mm-hmm.
But but the team you know, Kevin Durant informed that he didn't want to, return to Golden State. The Warriors, Heat, and Suns had been nearing an agreement on a trade that, would have landed Butler in Phoenix and Durant back where, he won a championship in 2017-18. As part of the agreement, Butler will, decline his 52 million player option for next season. Jimmy Butler, that's a lot of money. I don't know why you're. Oh, I see why. Never mind. But he's planning to sign a new 2-year deal for $111 million. So I get okay. Now I get why you left. More money.
Yeah.
But that carries through the 2026-27 season, sources have said. The Warriors sent forward Andrew Wiggins and Kyle Anderson, plus a top 10 protected 2025 first round pick to the Heat. Well, he's not really protected anymore. Getting traded. But that's crazy they did trade Andrew Wiggins because he's been with the Warriors since that first ring back in 2015. During the
Yeah, I got him from
little
Minnesota.
Cavs. Yeah. It's just kind of crazy that they traded him and not someone else. I mean, I get, Clay's gone now, so it's kind of expected that, someone else is going to be gone like that.
Yeah, but I mean,
Soon
he's a
probably
good player.
Draymond will get traded. Honestly, I see it. And then Curry will only have Jimmy.
And then Dennis Schroeder got traded to the Pistons. Well, got traded to, was it the Jazz? And then they said, "Oh, I want his high end," and then they traded him to the Pistons or something.
They're like, we seen that guy in the Lakers. He's wild.
He is washed. Like a month ago, he was on the Nets, and then he's on the Warriors. Then he was with the Jazz for like 2
I'm pretty
seconds, and
sure
then
he
there's like
played
Pistons
decent on the Warriors. He
for a
played
month.
decent for a month, and then he's just gone. Get traded.
Yeah,
It's rough, man. But says here also guard Dennis Schroeder, acquired by the Warriors in December, will be sent to the Utah Jazz. But now
they don't want his high end.
Utah will ship forward PJ Tucker, who played with the Heat in 2021-22, to Miami. Guard Lindy Waters III will go from Golden State to the Pistons. That's rough. I mean, yeah, he's going to get to play with Cade Cunningham. Throw down.
Pistons are washed.
Yeah. Besides Cade. Josh Richardson is going to go from Miami to Detroit as well. But there, were a number of other perimeter deals, that the teams were still ironing out. Wednesday, He Ford and Nikola. It's not Jokic. It looks like it.
Jovic.
Yeah, Jovic. Called Butler his brother and said that he and many of the Miami players would miss him. That's bullcrap because
Everybody hated him.
everybody hated him because he wouldn't play. First of all, he would kept complaining and complaining and complaining. That's one of the reasons that he even
Just
traded
this
him
year,
because
like any other year, like he was happy, he's ready to go, he's ready to play. But
I don't know what
so,
happened. What happened?
I don't know.
Something had to
Nobody
happen in his
knows.
personal life. Something had to happen in his personal life or something because he was all happy and stuff. He still seemed fine during like media day. He seemed like he was happy and stuff still. He just didn't do his funny little get up.
Yeah,
But I honestly wonder what happened
I don't know.
because he was all. It's weird, man. But Jovic said he's someone who did a lot for the franchise. You know, he sent them to 2 NBA finals, which, you know, they sadly lost. I would have liked to see him beat Jokic, but I knew it wasn't going to
I'm happy
happen.
the Lakers won 2020, but yeah, beating Jokic would have been nice. But
And they were not even going to be close to that Lakers team, even though they took a game from them.
yeah,
But they took a game from the Nuggets too, though. I still don't understand how the Lakers got swept in that Heat team. The Lakers were better than that Heat team.
yeah.
Jamal
That Heat
Murray's
team
just a
though, like they
savior.
always gave the Celtics trouble too.
I know they always get so much trouble. Watch this year, even without Jimmy,
Yeah,
they still have a lot of backbone to the organization. Like the Heat's a good team. I mean,
yeah,
but it says here, he's someone who helped me so much where I'm not sure if I would be here right now if there wasn't, you know, if there wasn't him. I'm sad and happy in the same moment. Sad you're not going to see him anymore, but I'm really happy that, you know, he got what he wanted. That was good. Like he wanted, you know, obviously Jamie to be happy and stuff,
right.
so he's happy for him. But he obviously didn't want him to go at points because, you know, he's been played with them all these years and
Mm-hmm.
stuff. See, that's
Right.
like, you know, a person who's been on that team for years. Like example, AD. Again, that sucks for his teammates, but it's. I feel like it's going to be best for the organization too. That's why they're
I
doing
do
it. That's
too.
why they trade big. That's why they trade big stars. That's why they trade Luka. But that's not going to do well for the Mavs. I feel like the
People
Lakers love
say
that trade.
people say, "Oh, the Mavs want to trade." How? How?
People just say stuff about the Lakers defense. Without AD, the rest of the people are going to try so much harder on defense.
Without AD, since AD's been injured and he's been traded, we've got nothing but wins.
Yeah, we've only lost one time
Mm-hmm.
in the past like 12 games or something like that,
Mm-hmm.
which is insane. JJ Redick's the GOAT.
It is.
But the trade was agreed while the Heat were playing against the 76ers in Philadelphia, and the Pistons were hosting the Cleveland Cavaliers. Warriors coach Steve Kerr called a team meeting to inform the players just before Golden State played against Utah in Salt Lake City. Uh, Golden State, which had been looking for another star ahead of the deadline, and now has a six-time All-Star in, you know, Butler to pair with Stephen Curry and Draymond Green. So, you know, one of the best shooters of all time, and then, you know, a wrestler or boxer. But while Wiggins was, you know, the team's second, you know, leading scorer at 17.6 points per game, and one of its best defenders versus, you know, guards and, you know, bigger forwards, Butler should be an upgrade. I mean, Butler averaged the same amount or less actually on the Heat. But at the same time, he didn't really want to play, so he was kind of
Right.
throwing.
Yeah, he only averaged
But
like 17.
still, he only averaged like 17, and then Wiggins, you know, he averaged 17, almost 18 points.
Yeah.
So we'll see how Jimmy does with the Warriors. I feel like he'll do good, but you know, it's gonna be weird seeing him in a Warriors
Oh
uniform,
yeah.
not like a
Yeah.
Heat, not the Heat. Just it's weird. This trade deadline just weird.
Oh, so many players going everywhere. It's hard to keep up
I mean,
with who's on
we
what
knew
team now.
Jimmy, yeah, we knew Jimmy was getting traded, but we just didn't know obviously what team.
It's
Because
gonna be weird. Yeah, good.
me and Ashton, you know, we've obviously talked about like, you know, the Suns, etc. Like the like four teams. Wasn't the Rockets a part of it too?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. I don't remember the other ones, but it's just gonna be weird seeing him in a jersey. But what were you saying?
It's gonna be weird seeing Zach Levine not in a Bulls
Yeah,
jersey. Like he was with Minnesota when he was younger, but then he's been at the Bulls ever since, and it'll be weird
he's
seeing
been a
him in a
Bull
Kings
majority of his
jersey.
career.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be weird.
Like when he
I
won the
seen this
dunk
clip. It's
contest, he
like,
was with Minnesota, but
yeah, but didn't he get traded like the next year
yeah,
in like 2017? If I remember.
I think so, somewhere around there. So he's been a part of the Bulls for a long time.
It's crazy, man. And then you're just getting traded like that. You know how bad that probably sucks.
Mm-hmm.
Like, first of all, your home's in Chicago and stuff, right? Like, so that means, eventually you're going to have to move to, Sacramento.
But you got to go to the team first before you. I mean, you just got to leave all your crap and go
Yeah, I know.
to your new team. So
It's just weird.
do that crap on your own time.
You're not allowed to move right now. Listen, pack your bag. You just pack your few outfits. You're going to stay with us until, you go back or whatever.
Yeah,
That's kind of weird how that works.
yeah.
They don't give you time to,
It
like,
was like
move
Luka.
or anything.
Luka the next day he was in L.A.
I know. Like, he got to LA like 3 days ago. And then he's been with the team ever since. He's
And
been
AD
traveling with the
same.
team.
Like he was
Yeah,
in Dallas quick.
I know. But it says here, the Warriors the Warriors desperately, have needed a dependable second scorer. Curry, he's been, you know, on and off. Like, I know he scored 37, but it was on a very terrible
Dude, that
efficiency
shot
last night.
23s.
He only made 6 3. He was like 12 for 35 or something like that. It wasn't good at all. It was ridiculous, man. He still scored a high amount of points, but not terrible
Took the James
efficiency.
Harden approach to it.
Yeah, and James
Shooting a
Harden
crap
still
ton of
somehow
shots.
won it.
Yeah.
Yeah, James Harden won the MVP, all that crap. But
The double step back.
travel.
Yeah.
But Butler averaged 20 points or more in the 4 seasons prior to this campaign. He and Green also, should form a formidable defensive duo for Kerr. With punching people in the face and hitting people's privates and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Draymond loves doing that.
Oh, he does.
He did to Steven Adams.
Mm-hmm.
Kicked him. Dude, that's rough.
30.
But Curry said he texted with Butler at halftime for the Warriors Jazz game, expressing his excitement to, get going with Butler. So Curry's excited to have that second option
I bet.
too. But it probably again sucks to see Wiggins and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because how much history they've had. 4 rings together, I mean. That's a lot of history, man. Same with how Clay did too. You know how Curry felt? He was all sad.
Clay didn't
Like,
give.
I remember seeing clips of him like passing to where Clay would be
Mm-hmm.
because that muscle memory,
Yeah.
Now he's gonna have to get used to Wiggins not being there too, so that muscle memory is gonna have to,
Used to
disappear.
Jimmy.
Yeah. But it says here we know who Jimmy is, obviously being in 2 finals. He's a winner. No, he's not. But sure.
He's never
He
won.
didn't win the finals. He didn't win the finals, but he's obviously went to the finals. So he's a
won
winner, but
conference championships, just not
yeah,
NBA championship.
NBA. I would like to see Jimmy get a ring. He deserves it. He really does. And
LeBron deserves it more.
Easily. But Curry said, I understand there's a lot of drama down there, and who really knows, what the story is, except, to have a motivated commitment, Jimmy, that's ready to, impact our team for the better and stuff like that. So Jimmy, he wants to really help the Warriors out. He just didn't want to play for the Heat anymore. I don't know what the actual reason is for it,
He used to love it there.
but I don't understand. Probably he's jealous of Tyler.
I think
That's what
so.
it is.
I think
probably.
that's what it is.
Because Tyler's becoming the main option for the Heat team because he's younger. Jimmy's 35 years old.
Yeah, he's slowing down, whether he likes to think
he's
about it or not.
down, and you can tell. You can tell he's slowing down. He's not LeBron. He's not LeBron when he was 35 was carrying a wash Cavs team to the finals. But Jimmy can't do that. As good as Jimmy is, he can't do that. But Wiggins went through his pregame warm-up before the Jazz game. Upon walking back to the locker room, he was greeted and dapped up by an assistant coach, a Warrior security guard, and Curry. When he got back to his locker stall, a couple players walked over to him to shake his hand. Minutes later, the Warriors' locker room was closed to media during regular availability, so Kerr could address the team players, including Curry and all that, who was players including Curry, who was on court during warm up, but he was brought to the locker room as well. So they had a little closed door meeting, and 15 minutes later, Curry emerged from the locker room with his head down, and Curry went back onto the court to resume his warm up. Steve Kerr said, "It's tough. You develop the relationship with these guys. They give you everything and commit to the team. They've got families. Wiggs just had a baby, last week. That sucks too because he just had a kid, and he got traded. So that means he's gonna have to move eventually.
Yeah, that's rough.
So it's gonna be rough for him because that does suck because all that pressure he has now.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's a family man now, and with a kid and stuff. That's a lot of pressure just getting traded after
move
that.
Literally across the country from California to Florida.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy. But Wiggs is one of my favorite players I've ever coached. Just a beautiful soul, a wonderful human being. We don't hang that banner in 2022 without him. Everything he brings every single day, the laughter, the smile, I'm going to miss him. The other guys too. I mean, he was a main part of that 2022 championship because he popped off a lot of those games.
Mm-hmm.
So it just sucked to see him go from the Warriors and stuff like that. Yeah, just because Jimmy Zayn doesn't want to stay with the Heat.
Yeah, that's one thing about the Warriors, man. If they want somebody, if they usually get them, they get help for Curry,
like Kevin Durant.
Yeah, they get help for Curry. But LeBron, they hardly ever get help for him.
I know Rob Pelinka needs to learn from the Warriors.
If it wasn't for the Mavs GM, LeBron would still have glass, big lipped AD, and that's it.
The only reason he got injured is because he tripped on his lips.
Yeah.
But it says here, a few weeks ago, Kerr and Curry said they did not want to see the Warriors organization make any desperate trades, that would, mortgage the future in an attempt to win the season. We already know the Warriors aren't going to win the chip. They're not going to get past the Nuggets, especially.
The Lakers.
Not even the Lakers, or the Met. They're not a good team, really. They're not that championship level. It's not 2016, through or 2015 through 2018 anymore.
Yeah,
it's not that.
Adding Jimmy will help them, but it still ain't gonna put them over the top. I don't think.
Yeah, it's not. But they said they don't want to make any desperate trades and stuff like that. Kerr, tolerated it that about half an hour before he addressed the team, behind the closed doors. So he knew about it half an hour before the team did and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But he says here, feel the exact same way. Don't do anything crazy. Kerr said, we're not, in the position. I think it is important for every organization to know, where they are and understand the circumstances. And then you see that possibilities. Draymond, Steph, and I have talked about this privately. We have talked about this with the Warriors GM, Mike Dunleavy Jr. There is a responsibility to the organization to do the right thing and to not beg for someone or for some crazy trade that is going to put the next 10 years in jeopardy, which they just did that. because Jimmy's old. He's gonna retire in the next 3 years or so. He's not gonna play that much longer. He's
Yeah,
not gonna play
he's
until
not
he's
LeBron.
38. He's not. He's not gonna be. When he's 38, he's probably gonna be putting up single digits.
Oh yeah,
That's so sad to say that.
but
It's
that's just
Jimmy
your
Butler,
typical
but
player, man. I guess
I know,
people look at LeBron. It's not normal what he's doing. So it's just your typical player. By the time they get old as crap,
just
they just stop, producing
people.
numbers.
LeBron's raising the expectations of what older players should play like.
But
So
that's just not how they play. Normal people
that's
don't
not.
play like that.
LeBron's not human. He's an alien or
Look at
something.
Vince
It's
Carter. That's your normal old dude.
he was an amazing player, 3-point shooters, overall everything. But he slowly declined throughout his career.
Mm-hmm.
LeBron, he didn't do that. He never declined.
He's still in his prime.
He's had injuries. He's still in his prime.
He's not
that's
as athletic
ridiculous.
as he used to be. He still posters
But he's
centers. Like he's still in his
not
prime.
as athletic.
You can
His
still
vertical
be
is
in your
obviously
prime
what
and not
now.
be as athletic.
He still has a 40-inch vertical.
Mm-hmm.
He's lost a couple inches in his vert, but he's stronger than ever.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, and he's fast as crap still.
Yeah,
and he's 40 years old. He's one of the most athletic people in this league, and he's 40 years old.
Yep,
which is ridiculous. But it says here, to Kerr's point, the Warriors held on to prospects like Kuminga and Brendan Podziemski, two players who were reluctant to give up last summer when the Warriors explored deals for Lowry, Markin, and Paul George. Not Paul George. Pretty sure he wears the little remember I showed you Kawhi's new shoes, the boot.
Mm-hmm.
That's Paul George's shoes too. I mean, he can't stay healthy too. As good as Paul George is, that's a thing. A lot of players just can't stay healthy. They're good, they're really good. Just injuries and injuries and injuries.
That's another thing LeBron's been good at, taking care of his body, being kind of injury
Exactly.
prone. Not injury prone, but
every game.
Keep from getting injured so much.
He takes care of his body like no other. He
Mm-hmm.
sleeps all the time. He sleeps a lot to heal his body and stuff.
He pays
baths.
millions on his body every year.
Yeah, he does those frozen, I don't know what they're called, the frozen chambers and stuff. He does massages every day. It's ridiculous how much he actually takes care of his body. And people say he's on steroids because of how healthy he is.
He pays money. He pays money for his body.
I know, but it's just crazy to think about. We are probably never going to see this again.
No.
Probably in our lifetime, we won't see. Obviously, another player will, and will eventually. But it's going to be a while. It's going to be a long, long time.
I don't know, man. LeBron's just one of a kind.
He is the greatest prospect of all time. Especially either coming out of high school, anyways.
But LeBron is just different.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. But it does say here the Warriors did lose some depth. That Kerr has trouted all season, but Golden State went into the game Utah in 10th place in the Western Conference Final.
D'Lo just got a block on a 3. Well, he can't do that crap for the Lakers.
You can't do that on the Lakers. That's bull. But also, Jimmy Butler hasn't played his NBA game since the 31st of January because he's been suspended over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Because the Heat just don't want to deal with him,
Mm-hmm.
But his last game was actually, he came off the bench and stuff. He would have been coming off the bench the next game he played, but he the last time he was on the court was January 27th after he left a shoot around following the news that he would be coming off the bench. So he hasn't played since then.
Yeah.
I wonder how he's going to do with Curry, though. Like, because Jimmy's going to be the second option, like he is on the Heat.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder how well he's going to
How's
take
the
that.
attitude's going to be there?
Yeah. But
He's going to roll up. He's like, Steph, this is my team now.
It's like, oh yeah, can you shoot a full court three?
Yeah.
But
I'll miss it, but I can shoot
it. But Jimmy Butler's averaged exactly 17 points per game, and this is his lowest since his third season in the league. His marriage with Miami seemed, a perfect pairing as Butler's strong-willed attitude fit well with the franchise heat culture ethos. Over 6 campaigns in South Beach, Butler led the Heat to the playoffs each of his first 5 with 3 trips to the Eastern Conference Finals and 2 trips to the NBA Finals. Butler was named a 2-time All-Star. Oh no, 2 All-Star teams, and he made 3 appearances all NBA teams as a member of the Heat. Like he's gonna go down like in history as obviously a Heat legend for taking the Heat to the finals and stuff.
Yeah.
But he's never going to compare to obviously people who've actually won the championships, but he's still going to be up there.
Yeah, it has to be acknowledged.
Yeah, because all he did for the organization and stuff like that. But Tyler Hero said, our biggest obstacle right now that we have to get over is consistency. He said of the Heat finding clarity with Butler's departure. So being able to, know your role night in and night out, obviously without injuries, is part of clarity, is, part of consistency. So right now we're just trying to get everything lined up and stuff like that, and just continue to stack good days, and we'll find consistency in that. With news, the Warriors trade odds to win the NBA championship have shortened from plus 4,000 to plus 3,300. So it's went down since Butler got traded.
Well,
but at ESPN, bet they moved from plus 3,000 to plus 2,000 for the Western Conference title, and from plus 1,800 to plus 1,200 for the Pacific division crown. So just everything's went down.
Well, the plus going down is good.
Yeah,
it's the opposite, like of what you would think. Like because negative is good when it comes to that. So like if somebody says that one team is going to win by negative 2.5, that means they'll win by like 2.5 points. I don't know why it's negative.
Weird.
Like, well, I don't know why it's the opposite, but that's what it is.
That's weird to describe. What the heck? But that's all I have for that. That's quite a bit. But Jimmy Butler, he's
a warrior now.
That's weird. He's gonna look weird in.
Oh yeah, he's gonna look
blue and gold. Gonna look weird in blue and gold because he's always wore like red.
He's with Minnesota, but he still didn't look too bad. He looked a little weird in Minnesota, and he was with the 76ers, which they do have red on their jersey.
But this thing, like, the Timberwolves also have like, they did have like a black jersey too, so he didn't look bad because the Heat have black jerseys. So
and the Bulls have black.
The Warriors do too. They have that black jersey with a flower on it.
Yeah, usually they wear the blue or the white with home games, but
yeah, that's a rare occasion they wear that black jersey.
Yeah,
but yeah, that's all I have for that. There's just Jimmy Butler's now a Warrior, which is weird, really weird. But
a weird trade deadline for sure.
It's probably the weirdest, but like trade deadline of all time.
Very close, I would say. But that
Great.
is,
It's just crazy.
yeah,
Like AD, Luka getting traded, Jimmy Butler. You know, it's actually just ridiculous. Which we knew Jimmy Butler was going to get traded. Just
to the
it
Warriors,
was just
though.
obvious. Yeah, to the Warriors though, it was just weird to me.
Steph Curry and Jimmy Butler.
Never, you would never think.
Mm-mm. But that's all the talks we have. We appreciate you guys for listening. The only social we have is our YouTube, which don't have any content still. We need to get on that. But listen to our gaming podcast if you're into gaming news. We do 2
Yep.
episodes a week on there. Go over and listen to that. Rylan, do you have anything?
Just check out our game podcast, as Ashton said, and all that. You forgot to mention our Instagram. We do have an Instagram.
Oh
I
yeah, I
just don't
forgot about it.
really post on it much. I think I've posted only like one thing on there because I've just been kind of focused on just getting the episodes and stuff.
Yeah.
Just recording. So you can go check out our Instagram and YouTube, which we haven't had anything post on that. We'll eventually post on it. We just don't know what type of content we're gonna do on that yet. Because since it's sports, we'll see. Maybe play 2K sometime or
Yeah.
something like that. But we'll show us destroying people in 2K.
Oh yeah.
But just follow all our personal socials and all that. And that's all I have.
All right. Appreciate you guys. We'll catch you next week.